Now I can see myself, and I will invite Yaroslav. I'm waiting for him. Okay.
Now I'm
Yay.
visible.
I can
I'm at
see
the bottom.
myself.
You are able to see yourself?
Yeah,
Yay.
all good. Like, I can see
Beautiful,
everything.
beautiful. I can see that some people started to join us already, and I'm so happy to see other people here. And it's actually is going to be very interesting discussion. And I thought I totally invite everybody to stay. I hope everybody speaks English. For those who don't, later on we will record it, put it on YouTube, and in YouTube it's possible, by the way, to put translation. And it's going to be, actually, I tried it. It's the opposite direction, actually, from Russian to English, and it works, you know, and nowadays it's pretty simple to do those things, yeah.
By the way, it can be distorted. It can be the translation, you know, how the meaning can be lost in the translation. But
And this is exactly what we are going to talk about, you know, how the meaning can be lost in translation of our perception, right? Because what will be the thing that I don't know actually how to put all these topics, you know, what we'll talk about.
I can do
You
it.
know how to do it? And in the meantime, I'll voice it. Yeah. We'll talk, you know, and I didn't know this word in English, to be honest with you. You know, for me, it was like, yeah, I remember this beautiful Russian cartoon, Nu Pogodi, you know, when we see this, what we call the false mirrors, and I want to call it crooked mirrors, you know, somehow, but apparently it's false mirrors. And we are going to talk, we'll take as an example of our perception on how we see the world and how we see the things around us. And for those who are here, for those who will watch this video later on in the recording, I would recommend to re-listen to it, not to listen to it once, maybe a few times, because we are going to talk about a few principles here. And Masha, in my opinion, is very talented, and I will introduce you to my auditory, you know who you are, and maybe you'll say a few words. Very talented in the way Masha presents the things, you know. It's coming from the very deep place, you know. I have the ability to see where the people bring their things from, and I'm able to see deep. So Masha has this ability to see deep and to convey the true message. And Masha, maybe tell about yourself, like what's your education, where do you live, maybe a few things about.
To hear these things. And so I'm a life coach by standards of ICF. I was educated as psychologist, but never practiced psychology, and moved to human resources. So then I ended up in banking, and it wasn't quite what I wanted, and I wanted to go back to people and help people. So I chose this path of life coaching, and I really, really see the results, and I really like this instrument. But recently I understood that it's not the only instrument I want to use, and I incorporated human design in my coaching. It's still in beta version. I still trying, still experimenting with this hybrid. But and talking about human design, this what you said about me, I never knew it before I read my body graph and human design, and like, I should be able to talk about higher, I don't know, on the higher levels and from deep of myself, and like, okay, that's quite empowering, but also it's a little bit scary because I didn't feel I have skills, and I felt I have to have some skills. But as our topic is false mirrors. This was all, I guess, this perception was all from false mirrors, because it was from society that you have to be that to get this, or you have to learn, or you have to be master in something to coach other people, right?
Correct.
And then I realized that I better go inside myself to find the answers. And I'm in the experiment right now, like I trying to do it, and step by step I see small results. And what you said about me is quite amazing, because you see how it confirms something that I'm still experimenting with, and you already see it, and like, okay, maybe it's a proof that I'm going to the right direction. So
Yeah.
thank you.
And thank you too, for being open and being so honest, because what we are going to talk today is basically, we're going to talk about honesty and openness, because so many people around in these days, and like just sent you a little video prior to that just to confirm that we are on time. I was with my daughter, and we were eating pizza and just having fun. Prior to this, playing basketball, put a few stories later on Instagram, enjoying our time. And the beauty in the kids, is this total honesty, and the most important thing that I'm doing with myself, around other people, especially my kids, and I'm father of two, is allow them to be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter was asking me today such a beautiful question that every person needs to ask it actually. Who am I? And who am I, Daddy? Who am I? And it's not an easy answer to give. It's something that I can talk for hours about this thing only. But today we have another topic. But the beauty in it's the depth where we get an answer from. You cannot just ask it from this dimension where we are right now. So the depth that I see in you, in the other video that you posted the other day, some other messages that you delivered during the last period of time, in my opinion, it's absolutely profound and absolutely beautiful. And they're very needed for the society, especially, the fact that we are talking multiple languages. In my case, I'm also talking a few, like this podcast we are doing in English for the English-speaking auditory, and it's extremely important to continue and to share this wisdom and share this beauty, share this depth for those who somewhere on the road and have this type of questions, like in case of like about example of my daughter and so many people. Like I told my daughter today, so many adults need to study a few things, some questions. What she was telling me, I don't remember. It was something. We were talking about the cartoons, and my daughter's name is Sophia, and she's saying, Daddy, and she's 11, almost 12. I'm still watching Sophia the First. I say, I know it's very important because there are so many important messages coming from this cartoon. But at the same time, these movies need to be watched even by adults, because these messages were skipped by many adults or forgotten at some stage of their development. And this is what we're going to talk today. A few words about me, maybe I will say. My name is Yaroslove. Another name that you can see is Arik, but I prefer to call myself by the name that I was born. And who am I? Yeah, let me talk about my role maybe, because if what I do in life, what I do here. In general, I am operations manager, doing automation in telecommunication. That's what I do, but as a hobby, and I develop it into profession. I do things, strange things, like this is the latest certificate that I got. It's for this tarot deck. It's Fountain Tarot, by the way. It's extremely beautiful tarot deck, and I actually use 6 tarot decks. I use numerology, I use runes, and in general, what I do, I consult. So I consult different way. You consult it using coaching methods and terminology and everything. In my case, I'm just human being. And the way I do it, actually, right now, like yesterday came to me a brilliant idea. What I will do, I will literally, I'll open myself to public in these days. Like I said, why not to have like type of radio channel or whatever channel, like it will be Instagram channel. So I will simply go live, like we are doing it right now. People will join, and I will show what simple reading can do. because it's not like, oh, predicting the future and so on. It's much wider than that and more than that. And this is something where I will expose myself more and more in these days. Because I can see how important it is to people right now in these days, what I have learned, and I cannot hide the knowledge that I learned. So this is who am I in towards. What we are going to talk today, is when we are talking false mirrors, I will start with one example, and I just like you said, we will just have it, the flow, like in yoga, the flow, like I'm doing yoga once a week usually. My teacher, he's doing the flow, and I like this word. I was in the park with my daughter, and I saw this woman. There were two women and two kids. I believe they are sisters or something, and they had two kids, probably cousins. And one of the kids, it was a girl, about 2 years old girl, who was climbing the ladder, and was climbing on a little bit. And the lady was talking to her, I believe, sister, let's say. To her sister. At some stage, she noticed her daughter climbing, and the daughter probably is only learning to do it. She came closer to her daughter, and then at some stage, what she said, it's too dangerous here. Let's go to another park and let them play there. So basically, for her to be able to continue to talk to her friend. What interpretation the daughter can have is too dangerous to climb.
To try new things.
Absolutely. And this, when we are talking about the false mirrors, I want to use this example in order to show how our perception can be developed by looking with the eyes of other people. What is your opinion? What do you think about this? Like, I see false mirrors. With this example, it's actually described it. What would you say, Mash? What would you say?
In this situation, false mirror, where it was?
I believe that this is the daughter, this is the pure kid who came to this planet Earth, thinking that she can do everything, she can try everything, but somewhere she doesn't realize maybe it can be dangerous, right? Like maybe she really can fall down, she can hurt herself, right? So what would be the best solution? In this situation, looking with the God's eyes, and what decisions could mom make in this situation? Yeah, in order to, for the kid, when the kid is developed, to stay close to law of nature, let's say this way, and not to be looking through the life with the eyes of your mom. Okay, I already given some answers already in my questions, I know. But in the way I see the things, and later on we'll talk about different situations in life, what we see around, how things can be imposed on us and different environments. Like I don't want to touch a few sensitive things what's going on in the world, but I want to use very basic day-to-day examples, like this case that every mom can face. So what is your opinion? What do you think?
So yeah, we have a kid, we have a mother. Kid, I doubt that she will understand the situation as it too dangerous. It just, I had some no or resistance from the world, so I cannot do it. But I think she will remember to try it again for the first time, right? But,
absolutely.
For mom, I should say that moms can be very tired being with two kids, right? And in this tired state, we cannot be conscious of the situation. And in this situation, the first step would be being here and now, not in the phone, not talking to somebody, not thinking about something, but being with your kid and sensing the situation itself. Of course, when the situation when in the passenger seat you sit in a car reading, and then you suddenly looking on the road and like, why are you not stopping? Like I do it all the time with my husband. But if I keep looking on the road, it doesn't look that dangerous because I see all the situation. The same is here in the situation. When mom observes everything around, it doesn't look like that dangerous. But when she's in her thoughts and maybe in her stressful thoughts about some other situation, and it creates some state of mind, and then she looks up, okay, it can be dangerous, yes, it can be, but it will not be necessarily dangerous or dangerous outcome or some better outcome. So first I would say be conscious, be here and now. And you know this saying, it's too dangerous, let's go somewhere else. It's a shortcut. It's a shortcut that she used in the situation. She didn't
Absolutely.
observe the wholeness of situation and consequences for her daughter in later life, right?
Absolutely. And this is exactly the word that I would say. She basically, like, it will be very strong saying, but she stole the experience, literally stole the experience of her daughter in this world because of her inability to be there in that situation. And her, maybe she wanted to talk to her sister, let's say, like in the role play that I just said. She wanted to interact. She wanted another dynamics, and not being able to stay next to the girl. The girl maybe needs something. You know, I will say two things. You know, in numerology, my homeopath says the same thing. You know, she likes to accept entire family during her when she's helping somebody. It's better that entire family is basically being treated. Why? Because everything is interconnected. And when we are talking about kids or adults, let's say, I have a lot of times mom is coming to me saying, my daughter, and start to say this.
What about you?
I'm looking at the situation. Okay, so okay, no problem. I say, but let's first of all start, you know, let me see your numerology too. So I'm putting one graph of mom, I'm putting one graph of the daughter, and then I see, first of all, characteristics of the mom, characteristics of the daughter, talking, getting some information. I'm getting from different sources too, not only this way. Let's keep it think simple, and I'm trying to connect between the two. And suddenly I see, okay, there is a program of the mom, basically, that stopping daughter to get her experience, literally. I can see and I see what plays. Now, my role as a consultant is basically to come and to be able to deliver to mom the message, somehow to explain it. What I have noticed, most of the women are not ready to listen to it. Most of the women, no, it's not me. It's a doctor, let me send to the doctor, let the kid get this, get that. I have somebody that I really know pretty well. Her daughter passed 18 years old age. She's literally crying because she has a few kids, not one, but the older daughter has a very serious situation right now in the advanced stage of life. And the cause of it was her relationship with her husband at that time. And she was not ready to let go of specific patterns in her life at that time. So right now, the only work it will be with daughter and for mom just to trust, because the daughter passed. The best she can do is just to trust the process, and with the other kids for them not to get impacted. So when we interacted with her, whatever work we did together, it helped her with the other kids kind of to be on the right, and her relationship with the husband actually was cured. But with the daughter, she cannot do anything yet. So the timing is critical in this situation. And some people think, nothing will happen. Nothing will be. In this crooked mirror that's being created for the kid starts to see specific ways, things in life through this mirror, not actually what is happening, but the other things. And then say, why she attracted this type of man? Why she attracted this type of woman? No, it's not only numerology. It's not only astrology, whatever it is. It's not only the character, how the person came, and for this type of experiences, it's all possible to change. What I truly believe. There are some experiences that will come, but the way how the person will handle these experiences, it will be different. And this is the responsibility of the person. It's first of all, in this case of the mom, it's to develop a kid and trust the kid that she will be able to climb, but to be there next to her. If she falls down, just to catch her. And the patience, sometimes it's not there. So I just brought this example of the mom because I want to bring, because I had at least 2 potential clients lately that didn't finish working with me. They're working with different type of, let's call it, therapists. And this lady that I just mentioned, like example from the family, to help there, it's not possible. And the lady is in a bad shape right now, the mom. She doesn't know what to do with this. And the only way is just to let go. And for the daughter, maybe somewhere to interrupt. But sometimes the timing is missed and it's very hard to do things. Why? Because the life was presented through the mirror of another person's vision. So whenever I'm talking false mirrors, I'm talking about vision that's being imposed. It's basically, what is the crooked mirror, or crook, I'm saying, a false mirror? It's basically different shape of the mirror, right? Different shape of the mirror that's created. And then the person can be either, I don't know, like I always remember this cartoon of, no, who it was, Rabbit and Wolf, you know, the Russian cartoon, whenever they come into this room, and then the rabbit is just going, just skinny like this, and then, muscles. Right. And the wolf suddenly just also doing like this, and he was looking in another mirror, and his muscles are like literally small. You know, it's the matter how you see it.
The matter. And, I have a question. Yeah. In your opinion, why does it matter in the end? How you see us? Like, why does it matter to see your real self, and if it's possible at all? And then why it's dangerous or not good, or what's the problem with living in the environment of false mirrors?
I truly believe that we all came from, let's call God, let's call higher force. We all came from there. We all came to have some type of experience. The answer I already gave before is basically when the mom was stealing the experience of your daughter, or preventing. You can say this is also experience, kind of, to be in this relationship with mom. Yeah, I can agree with it to some point, but at the same time, there is another very important thing to keep in mind. It can be entire life being in that type of, to be in that type of relationship, you know, of living mom's experience entire life. It's possible. I have, I observe a few kids right now, let's say this way, that my daughter interacts with. I can literally say which kids are living their parents' experience, right? Some of them, apparently, the information squeezed through one of the secretaries. Mistakenly, she sent a note that her daughter was taken antidepressants already in the age of, at that time, it was age of 7 or 8 years old. This is what people call this type of, or sometimes they call it even diseases, like abnormal, whatever, ADHD, or whatever it's called, like behavior. I don't remember all the letters of this thing. In fact, it's basically respecting the kid's ability to be able to do what he can do or she can do, right? And from my perspective, it's basically we came from higher source. This is how I see it, and just not to steal the experience. So being true is being transparent. Being a parent is just allowing the kid to develop through this type of experience. Somebody can ask me, you know, and people ask this question, but what about the kid who came with different type of situation, you know, in the body? There are a lot of special kids in these days. Like what to do here? Here it's already different. Here we can see connection to the previous lives and so on. I don't want to go that deep, but people might ask this question, people who will be watching. I was working with such a lady in the past. I used to have a client of this way, with a special kid, special boy. By having such a special boy, this lady became like extremely beautiful flower. Here she was able to develop her abilities to become the best version of herself. So basically the idea is, the answer is, to be the best version of yourself, of each one of us, to be the best version of ourselves, and to be connected to the higher force.
Interesting. In this case, the abnormal situation with her kid helped her to open her potential or the real self, whatever. And in the same way, maybe we can do, like, it was external help to her, but in other situations, it can be that me, myself, can be in such a bad situation because I lived through those false mirrors for a long time, and I came to this situation that like I'm stuck. And from this stuck crisis, I can reborn as it is more real or more conscious being. So sometimes this crisis crisis is normal in life, and depends how you look at it. Is it something bad to just to go through, or is it something to learn from and get better version of yourself? That's a pattern everybody says, like better version of yourself. I don't know, some people just trying to find their self, not a better version of yourself, you know.
Like my daughter's like, who am I, you know,
Yeah.
like what we started with. And I would say, you know, like dancer, I would take from expression or from the word that's called corridor, or let's say doorway. I believe in English it will be the right word to say corridor. Corridor will be doorway, I believe, right?
Hallway, yeah.
Or hallway, yeah. So basically, some people come to the situation when they were like this lady, like I described, but your older daughter in the situation where she is right now, and it's much more difficult to do it already. When something was on action on time, and they were thrown into some type of intermediate state, what you call crisis, and they cannot just stay where they were before. It actually needs to change. So the funny part is to be able to predict it, to predict this, that it might come, right? To see these false mirrors that are being offered by the society or offered by the vision of the parent, or the parent himself will think, okay, maybe by taking some courses, visiting coaches, visiting some different therapies, say, okay, but basically what I see right now, it might not necessarily be the truth. It's basically the mirrors that I'm looking at, and this is how it was described to me. It's not necessarily what it is about, the real situation. And the answer is going to be, I went a little bit, myself went a little bit aside, but the doorway is basically when somebody is in crisis, is the healing point. This is the way it works here. And one person needs to be thankful for coming to this type of situation that he needs to react. There is this expression, I will try to translate it in English, something, okay, it's duality, but I will use it still, you know, it explains it very well. Something bad, it's something good not done on time, when something good wasn't done on time. When something bad happens, it means something good wasn't done on time. There is a timing in this world. We are living in different dimensions. When I'm consulting from different dimensions. Time, space-time, it also exists there, but sometimes it's farther than that. I'm looking from different dimensions. I'm looking like at many places at different time. At the same time, at different places. And when something like this happens in somebody's life, when he comes to this corridor or he comes to this hallway doorway, this is the time for person to recuperate and to really to think, who am I? Who is this person? What's the connection? And this is the time when we can look at things like, I'm calling it, we have two wings, right? One of them is material, let's say, world. I will show like this. And one of them is spiritual world. So the person, when he comes to this situation, a lot of times the spiritual part is missing. And he was too much connected to the material world. And some decisions that were made were forgotten about how everything is done. So this corridor, when something happens, it's for the person. It happens whenever he needs to reconnect to the spiritual part of himself. And then from that place, by making other choices, and we'll talk about choice shortly, and I'll bring one beautiful example from one of the tarot cards, things become different. This is what I would say.
Very interesting. I listened and I felt a lot of things, and I see how different so-called masculine perspective and feminine. When you said about when you said about time and its timing, for me, timing is kind of part of controlling. Like the idea that you can control something and you can be on time here. See? And it's not always the case. And some people that couldn't be on time then develop the guilt that they couldn't be on time. But you see, for me, it's not spiritual, material, it's all together. And right now I'm practicing this surrendering to the world. It's hard for me because from my history, I go back to what I was thinking in high school, in university, when I was studying psychology. I've changed like completely, 360. I changed, and like and now I see, I want to see it all one in one. And if somebody missed the time, it's also, there is some point in it. Like there should be no guilt, no regret. It just look in the situation as it is now. What is it for you, for others, and go from now. You see, I don't like this guilt at all. Like, what is it? It's also the false mirror. I think the guilt, the feeling of
absolutely
guilt, it's a false mirror. Something that I thought while you were telling the story, I remember when I was studying psychology in university, and I was so sure I want my daughter to be normal, not fancy schmancy, like not out of this world, not special in the way that Jeannie is, just normal and happy human being. And now I have 2 daughters, and I'm trying hard to understand who they are, what's their properties, what, like, I using human design as a, for me it's like basic default settings, right, to go from. And I really want to understand who they are by design, for example, just one instrument. And from here, let's go and experience life. And I don't care how special you are or how normal. Just be happy, just be yourself, right? And
absolutely.
And there is no time limit, to be honest, because I don't really like myself, this hustle, being on time for something. Yes, we can miss some opportunities. By the way, I found this term in English, FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out. Talking about monkey mind and stress and all this, like, I should do something not quickly and not to miss out. Okay, you miss out something, then you have time and other opportunities for something else. Like, you know, this concept that of time. Yes, I understand that we have limited time on this earth, and we try to do something with this time. But there is concept of try to be something while you're alive, and being something or somebody or being yourself. It's more about here and now than some time. Do you agree? I don't know. It just
I definitely, there are a few
flowing
thoughts
through me now.
Yeah, we can talk a long time about this. It can be a separate topic to discuss maybe later on.
It going deeper.
Yeah, maybe we might talk about this next time, maybe now next podcast. Yeah, what's happened?
I don't know. I have avocado now on my face.
Oh, I can see it. Yeah, that's funny. I don't know. Somehow it happened. Yeah.
I don't know. What did I press anything?
Maybe.
Anyway. Oh no,
Yeah.
a lot of avocados. Okay.
It's probably, but it's actually funny. You know, when we're talking about time, I remember, I will say a few things. You know, maybe it will be homework for people who will listen to this podcast, you know, before the next one. First of all, movie, and I'll watch it once again, called In Time. You know, when there are people who have specific time left, how much, whenever it's on their hand.
Pretty powerful.
Yeah, and it shows about the most valuable things in life that we have. And this is what we'll talk maybe next time. It's our time, our attention, and our time. This is very important. Number two that I will say is from Kabbalistic point of view, and I will use a little bit of it. You know, there is a nice guy, Russian speaking, Rabbi Kitik. I used to listen to him. I used to see him live, actually. I'm very blessed to that experience here in Montreal. The guy lives in Israel and Jerusalem area. And he travels around the world and he lectures. He wrote a few beautiful books. And like one of the questions that was asked, you know, why in Jewish community there are not so many divorces, like the divorce rate is so low in comparison to others, and he gives very beautiful answers there too. So very interesting, like so many answers he gives, like it's totally beautiful. But when he was talking about time and space, he was saying the following: woman is from time. Man is from space. I hope I don't confuse it, only to listen it. But the idea is that woman, like,
Maybe
you know,
differently, maybe man.
maybe different, maybe man is from time and woman from space. I don't remember. But the example that he was given, you know, I will already listen to it when I will prepare for it. But when it's differently or not? Okay, now I'm just started to doubt myself. Just a second. Woman is from. Woman always woman has problem with time and or with space. Man is okay. Now I just found myself confusing. I'll need to re-listen to it and so on. But you just made me doubt right now. But the idea is when I want to live on time, me as a man, you challenge me like because I have the masculine thinking, right? If I want to leave, let's say at 3 o'clock, the woman can say, "Oh, we have time, and she'll be ready at 3:30 only, right?" Because she has time. I think woman is from time and man is from space, you know. But at the same time, when you're looking at the closet of the woman, she has problem with space. What the problem with space she has? She has so many closets. Why do you need so many?
Because I think that it's different. It's like man lives in time and woman in space. And when man says 3 o'clock and woman says, okay, we have more time, like she's in space. She's not concerned about time.
I will double check it because
if you start to develop this thinking and you're wrong about saying, it's kind of
let's have next podcast about this and I'll prepare myself because actually it will be very interesting space of discussion, you know. And a lot of people will have many interesting questions that they might ask about the same. It might resolve so many conflicts of different people that potentially they might have, because me, after listening to it, and he connected these two things, and at the same meeting he connected also some other interesting things. I'll prepare myself, you know. I will not intercept whatever we'll talk maybe next time, but it's very interesting angle to look from. But when we are talking once again about giving time and so on, and how a perception of time, it's also one of the ways to look at the things. But time is not the only thing, but time can cure, especially when somebody is angry. What they say? Take your time, especially when we're talking kids or some adult.
Not just time, take your time. Be with yourself. Go back to your body, to your thoughts, to your feelings. That's what cures. Yeah.
Absolutely. What I wanted to mention, by the way, when we're talking mirror, coming back to our topic, you know, there is a card I didn't prepare it in one of the tarot. It's actually a sexual tarot called Tarot Manara. It's the mirror card, and there you can see a lady with three times, like there are mirrors from different sides, and the lady can see herself 3 times. When I used to take the courses, I took from 2 different teachers this tarot deck interpretation, and one of the teachers was interpreting it as, you know, there is a Russian word, "Расстроился." Like the woman basically divided herself to 3 parts. Basically, and she said, you know, and it's the meaning that she was trying to provide for this card is basically put yourself together, to be in one, to be in all together. It's actually very funny, you know. I like it. You like when it's natural. Yeah.
It just, I had a time and now it's disappeared. Now I have a lot of avocados. something is going on. I don't know.
I like avocado actually. Have a shake with avocado every morning.
Healthy
But
fats.
yeah, right now it's 12:45, so we still have time. Maybe another 5-10 minutes we can spend together during this podcast. And what I wanted to say is, I was talking about this card. So one option is to see it like the person basically divided himself to different parts. So basically take all your parts and put it together. So there is also psychological concept that you can say one, be in one, be in center, and so on.
Roles.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly. But I like the interpretation of another teacher, how she interpreted this card, you know? She said that there are so many things that can happen in life. You can see it this way or this way or this way or this way. And I already gave this answer earlier. It's basically a matter of making a choice. It's basically you have a few options how to behave. So basically by looking in the mirrors, you can see different ways of seeing yourself. In which version of yourself you want to be, who am I, right? And this is by looking in the mirror, this is what you can choose. Right now, in the world, there are so many choices have been offered to us. It's think this way, and everybody says, no, I know how to think. This is the right way to think. This guy is bad, this guy is good, or this concept is good, this concept is bad, and so on. It's all coming from human being. When my daughter was asking me questions today, I say, I will never tell you what to be and how to do things. I say, you know that. My only way is to create all the environment for you, the necessary environment for you to learn what to be and how to think. And you will decide how to think. I might direct you, but I'll not tell you how to do it. You will know how to do it. And there are those professionals who know how to do specific things. Let's say somebody knows how to, I don't know, swim better. So he will teach you how to swim better with technique. But I'm not there. So my role will be, maybe I'm not the best swimmer, but to bring you to swimming. Or if you want to learn how to draw, maybe I'm not the best painter, but I will bring you to somebody who will help you how to paint better, and so on and so on. So basically, the choices for us in this world to make, it's totally dependent on us. It's the direction, it's the choice that we make. So basically, when we are talking false mirrors, the first thing, it's to recognize it. This is what we spoke about, to know how to recognize what we are looking at. And then I would say to make the right choice. And sometimes the choices might not be easy, like you said before. It can be crisis situation and corridor when we were talking about, right?
The situation, I think it's more serious because we sometimes we have limited choices. And why? Because sometime in childhood our curiosity was stopped or degraded or something, or we are told what is good and what is bad. Remember Маршак or Mayakovsky, что такое хорошо, что такое плохо, what is good and what is bad. That's socialization in childhood, and like this is the value, this is the values for the whole your life. Like really, who are you to tell me this? And this actually the good approach for every person. Who are you to tell me? Okay, maybe you're somebody to tell me, but then I have to research why I should believe you. And I mean, this sense of curiosity and doubt, it's very useful, but it's hard to deal with. Do you know, like when a small kid asks you all
It's
the
so much easier.
doubts,
It's so much easier. Somebody told me he told me that, you know, like so many people, like he told me that, teacher told me that, another person told me that, and so on. And this is what I call victimhood mentality. And this is what is being propagated all over the place in these days. When my daughter was asking me these questions, I was telling her a very simple thing, you know. And she thinks, you know, am I weird? She was asking me a question. Something wrong with me? I said, no. Actually, with you, everything is right. Because you are behaving with what you think, with what you believe, from your personality. And this is the choices that she makes from inside herself and she believes in it and not any other way. And this is extremely, extremely important, especially in these days.
You know what, Yaroslav, this live or podcast was useful as a introduction, I think, and now we started to talk about very deep and important things, and might be useful to put in different conversations and in more structured way, because we go with the flow, we go everywhere, and it's hard to keep, I think, people interested in one topic, because we are going everywhere, and it's mentally difficult to follow, I would say. And it's super interesting. I really like going to these deep conversations, but then we have this aspect of delivering delivering the message, and I think for unprepared public it might be too complicated, and since we want a result to get the message there, maybe we should pack it some more simple way, or just partially deliver. I don't know. I thought about it, because we can go on with those questions and issues, right, forever. And I just thought about the better way how to deliver, because the points are very important, and we can go to parental topic, right? And I would start with parental topic. I would start from it.
It would be great. We are both parents, so for us, we are allowed to talk about it. We both have experience. We both have 2 kids. Yeah, I can describe it from the, I don't know, like you say, masculine point of view. You can describe it from the feminine point of view. Absolutely.
Because now I'm learning a lot from my little one. I'm learning a lot from my teenager. I'm just still learning, and it's fascinating how much I can learn now.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Can we wrap up?
Yeah, we can wrap up. I want to thank you much. It was absolutely amazing, and I believe the information that was said between the words today, some people, it will open up for them quite a few, even though we were jumping a little bit here and there, but I believe some people will find quite a few answers. And people from my auditory, if they have questions to you, they definitely can contact you directly, and I will put your contacts in different networks, the where I will place this video. At the same time, you can also mention me in some of yours, and some people who want to contact me. And because sometimes people need a personal approach, to them, whatever instrument is being used. Like in my case, I decided to come back to the base. In my base, a lot of times it's very simple: numerology and tarot. And but it's an instrument, because I'm using so much more than that. And the principle behind it, some of them I voiced today, some of them you voiced yours, in your work that you do, and hopefully by doing ourselves better, we'll make others better. Because I truly believe people who come to me, they come to help me, even though they're my clients, and even though I'm helping them, but at the same time I'm helping myself, and we all help. And this is the oneness. This is how I see it.
Thank you so much for this conversation. Yes, I totally agree. Just people keep the curiosity of, keep the interest in yourself first. Be interested what's there, what's the potential in yourself, and how you can go through these false mirrors without losing yourself, or how to go inside, right? And life coaching helps a lot. Human design, tarot, there are so many instruments to satisfy your desire to know yourself. But first thing, there should be a desire to know yourself and interest in yourself. That's, I find, like basis, right? Thank you for conversation, and I hope we can do some more because there's so much to explore, and I really like the energy coming from you. Like, it's energy of comfort and peace. That's what I
And
need.
the energy of comfort and curiosity from you, and that's what I love a lot. You don't give up. Like you'll come towards the end. You'll find the answer, and you'll bring the result. And it's extremely, extremely, extremely important.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Have a wonderful day with your daughter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.